There's a moment in every rebuilding cycle when you stop talking about hope and start talking about proof. And for the New England Patriots, that moment is happening right now. When you look beyond the surface narratives and actually dig into how this roster has been constructed and used, one thing jumps off the screen immediately: the sheer volume of responsibility placed on young players. This is not accidental, and it is not cosmetic. Nearly 1/5 of all offensive and defensive snaps have been taken by rookies, a number that quietly places New England among the very top teams in the league in rookie participation. That matters far more than people realize, not just for today, but for what this team is building toward. Heavy rookie usage often gets lumped in with struggling teams, but context changes everything. Plenty of franchises play young players because they have no alternative, because veterans have failed, or because the roster lacks direction. That is not what is happening here. What stands out is that these snaps are meaningful. These are not garbage time appearances or low-leverage moments. These are real reps against elite competition, and that accelerates development in a way practice never can. When rookies are trusted in real situations, they grow faster, they learn quicker, and they establish a foundation that can support sustained success. There is also a financial reality that cannot be ignored. Young players contributing at a high level while playing on rookie contracts creates flexibility that smart organizations know how to exploit. It allows resources to be allocated elsewhere, it keeps the roster balanced, and it prevents the kind of top-heavy spending that eventually collapses under its own weight. This blend of youth, production, and financial control is one of the clearest indicators that a team understands where it is and where it wants to go. Nowhere is this more evident than up front, where the Patriots have asked a rookie to step directly into the fire at one of the most demanding positions in football. Will Campbell did not get eased into the league. He was thrown into matchups against some of the most dominant pass rushers in the game, week after week. He started 13 games and logged hundreds upon hundreds of snaps, facing elite competition without blinking. The numbers tell the story, but they do not fully capture the poise. Allowing only a handful of sacks and quarterback hits across that workload is impressive on its own. Doing it while consistently facing players who change game plans is something else entirely. What really stands out is the respect he has earned from opponents. When veteran defenders publicly acknowledge a young lineman's potential, it says more than any stat sheet ever could. That kind of recognition mirrors what happened last season with young defensive backs earning praise from top wide receivers. It is a sign that the talent is real and that the ceiling is far from being reached. Questions about arm length and pre-draft measurements fade quickly when performance takes over, and performance has been loud. The same theme continues in the backfield, where a rookie runner stepped into a significant role and produced with remarkable consistency. Trayvon Henderson did not just fill carries. He became a central part of the offense over the course of a full season. Nearly 1,000 rushing yards, strong efficiency per attempt, and a steady presence in the end zone reflect a player who understands pace, vision, and timing. Add in his contributions as a receiver, and you see a complete profile, not just a situational piece. Beyond the numbers, there is leadership taking shape. Henderson's willingness to credit teammates, to embrace guidance, and to carry himself with humility speaks to a locker room culture that values growth over ego. Those details matter over the long haul, especially when a roster leans this heavily on youth. Production is important, but buy-in is what sustains it. Along the offensive line, the commitment to development becomes even more striking. Starting two rookies side by side on the left side, both coming from elite college programs, is a bold decision in a league that punishes hesitation. Yet that pairing held up, gained experience, and laid the groundwork for continuity. Offensive line chemistry is built through shared reps, shared mistakes, and shared adjustments, and those investments pay off over time. On the perimeter, flashes of explosive ability have added another layer to the offense. Kyle Williams emerged as a vertical threat capable of stretching coverage and flipping field position in a single moment. His speed forces defenses to account for him, even when the primary focus is elsewhere. That kind of presence opens space for everyone, And it is exactly the type of weapon that becomes more dangerous as confidence and timing improve. Then there are the players who arrive without fanfare and quietly carve out roles through opportunity. An undrafted rookie finding production and limited chances speaks volumes about evaluation and coaching. When a player turns a small number of targets into meaningful yardage and touchdowns, it suggests instincts and preparation that cannot be taught overnight. In an offense that values adaptability, those traits can unlock unexpected contributions when games tighten and adjustments matter most. The defensive side mirrors this same philosophy. Young players are not being hidden, they are being deployed. Versatile safeties, rotational linemen, and edge players have all been asked to contribute, sometimes in critical moments. That kind of depth does not happen by accident. It comes from drafting with purpose and trusting development rather than chasing short-term fixes. Even specialists, often overlooked in these conversations, have played their part, reinforcing the idea that every role matters. What this all creates is a roster that feels alive, competitive, and unafraid. Around the league, teams notice when a turnaround happens this quickly, especially when it is driven by youth rather than a wave of veteran signings. It forces opponents to ask uncomfortable questions about their own processes and whether they're building something sustainable or simply patching holes. The most encouraging part is that this story is still unfolding. These players are gaining experience together, learning each other's tendencies, and building a shared identity. Every snap adds to that collective memory. Every challenge sharpens it. And as the season pushes forward, the growth curve remains pointed firmly upward, with more chapters still waiting to be written. As the season has unfolded, the ripple effects of trusting so many first-year players have become impossible to ignore. The Patriots are no longer just competing on effort or scheme alone. They're competing on confidence. That confidence comes from knowing that the young core has already been tested under real pressure. When players are thrown into meaningful roles early, the game slows down faster, and that is exactly what is happening across this roster. Mistakes still happen, as they always will with youth, but the response to those mistakes has been mature, controlled, and focused on adjustment rather than hesitation. What separates this situation from a typical rebuilding team is the balance between responsibility and structure. These rookies are not freelancing or being asked to do too much. They're being placed in positions that highlight their strengths while still demanding accountability. That approach shows up in how clean the execution has been in key moments. Drives are sustained, protections hold longer, and defensive assignments are communicated with clarity. Those are signs of players who understand their roles, not just their athletic ability. On offense, the rhythm has improved as chemistry continues to develop. Timing routes become sharper when receivers and quarterbacks experience real game speed together week after week. Running lanes become more defined when linemen and backs learn how each other reads leverage and flow. Even subtle improvements in spacing and pacing can transform an offense from inconsistent to dangerous, and the Patriots have quietly taken those steps forward. This is the kind of progress that does not always show up in headlines, but it wins games over time. The presence of multiple young threats also changes how defenses prepare. When opponents cannot simply focus on one or two established names, they are forced to respect the entire field. Speed on the outside stretches coverage. Physicality inside keeps linebackers honest. Versatility out of the backfield creates mismatches that are difficult to solve without compromising elsewhere. That layered attack is still evolving, but its foundation is solid, and its potential is evident every time the ball is snapped. Defensively, the energy has been just as telling. Young defenders flying to the ball, rotating through the front, and communicating in the secondary create a sense of controlled aggression. It is not reckless. It is disciplined intensity built on preparation. Rotational players have embraced their roles, understanding that impact is not always measured by snap count alone. Pressuring the quarterback, clogging lanes, and forcing offenses to adjust are all wins, even when they do not immediately show up in box scores. One of the most impressive aspects has been the adaptability. Injuries and lineup changes are inevitable in this league, Yet the Patriots have shown an ability to plug in young players without completely altering their identity. That speaks to coaching, but it also speaks to how quickly these rookies have absorbed the system. When backups step in and execute with confidence, it preserves continuity and prevents opponents from exploiting obvious weaknesses. Around the league, there's a growing awareness that this is not a fluke or a short-term surge. Teams notice when young players handle responsibility with composure. They notice when a roster built around development competes with consistency. There is a reason the conversation has shifted from schedule analysis to on-field performance. Results have a way of reframing narratives, especially when they come from players many expected to need years before making an impact. As the stakes rise and the margins tighten, experience gained earlier in the season becomes invaluable. Close games demand trust, communication, and belief. Those qualities are forged in moments when young players are allowed to fail, learn, and respond. The Patriots have already invested heavily in those moments, and the return on that investment is beginning to show in how they handle pressure. This is also how leadership is born. Veterans guide, but young players who earn respect through preparation and performance become voices in the locker room faster than anyone expects. That internal leadership is crucial when challenges arise, because it reinforces accountability from within rather than relying solely on external motivation. The Patriots are watching that dynamic take shape in real time. What makes this stretch so compelling is that it feels sustainable. There is no sense of overextension or desperation. Instead, there is patience paired with urgency, a willingness to let growth happen naturally while still demanding competitiveness every week. That combination is rare, and when it clicks, it can redefine a franchise's trajectory. Every game adds another layer of experience. Every rep sharpens understanding. The Patriots are not just evaluating their future, they're actively building it on the field. And as this group continues to take shape, the league is being reminded that progress does not always arrive loudly, but when it does arrive with purpose, it has a way of changing expectations very quickly. This approach also creates internal momentum. Young players see a clear path from opportunity to impact. Veterans see energy, accountability, and growth around them. Coaches see concepts translating from practice to game day. That alignment strengthens belief, and belief fuels performance when circumstances become challenging. There's still plenty of football ahead, and plenty of lessons yet to be learned. Young teams inevitably face moments of adversity that test resolve and focus. How this group responds to those moments will further define its trajectory. But the foundation being laid through experience, trust, and production suggests that this roster is not just passing through a developmental phase, but actively shaping its identity. As the Patriots continue to lean into their youth, each snap becomes an investment in the future. Every block, every carry, every tackle adds to a growing base of experience that cannot be replicated any other way. The league is watching, opponents are adjusting, and expectations are shifting. What started as curiosity is turning into genuine attention, as this team continues to show that its next chapter is being written with confidence, preparation, and purpose. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill was shaken to its core after whispers began circulating around league circles suggesting that BUDDA Baker may have reached an agreement with the New England Patriots. While nothing has been officially confirmed by the team or the player, the mere possibility of such a move has been enough to ignite intense debate, speculation, and surprise across the football world. Baker, widely regarded as one of the most instinctive and versatile safeties in the league, has built a reputation as a defensive centerpiece wherever he lines up. His speed, physicality, and leadership qualities would make him a natural fit in a Patriots system that has long valued intelligent, adaptable defenders. Sources close to the situation suggest that internal conversations in New England have focused on adding a proven veteran presence to stabilize the secondary and redefine the identity of the defense. The speculation has only grown stronger due to the Patriots' recent emphasis on reshaping their roster with experienced, high-impact players. Baker's alleged arrival would signal an aggressive intent, hinting that the franchise is determined to accelerate its competitive reset rather than rely solely on long-term development. For fans, the idea of Baker wearing the Patriots uniform feels almost unreal, yet tantalizingly plausible. Around the league, executives and analysts are divided. Some believe this rumor could be strategic smoke, designed to test market reactions or influence ongoing negotiations elsewhere. Others argue that the fit is simply too perfect to ignore, pointing to New England's history of capitalizing on unexpected opportunities when elite talent becomes available. If the speculation proves true, the ripple effects would be significant. The Patriots would instantly gain a defensive leader capable of changing games without touching the ball, while Baker would step into one of the most scrutinized environments in professional sports. Until clarity emerges, the story remains a captivating mystery, fueled by whispers, insider chatter, and the undeniable shock of what could become one of the most surprising moves in recent NFL memory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.